Alright, next part of Adwaita Incursion. This map that is currently loading is one that took hours to build because of the fact that I'm creating a narrow corridor by taking two buildings with an irregular external shape and fitting them together in a way that it creates an interior space from what is meant to be the exterior of multiple buildings. Okay, the specific building props in question are the ancient ruin style buildings that you will see in places like Nimbus, where it's this, large, imposing stone structure with no readily apparent purpose other than being a stone structure. They have these wide overhanging roofs, and if you arrange the pieces just right, it fits together to make tunnels. Oh, there's a tiny gap there. Yeah, well. If you look behind you, you see that I didn't actually finish this, and you can just like walk outside the structure and stare at the sunlight. I probably would have added some sort of a door here to keep me from walking out if I'd ever finished the mission. Oh well. Anyways, so the idea here is that you go through the tunnels. I was actually planning to add a firefight in here somewhere, and a group of the lizard people gathered around this table, plotting dastardly lizard people plans. Oh, the table's actually a compound asset made out of like 3 or 4 different desks. Anyway, the tunnels, I was able to make a pretty expansive tunnel layout. Why is it water? Unlike real lizards, the lizard people are actually amphibians. That's why the area is flooded. They just like being in water. Yeah, that's the idea I went with anyways. Yeah. The exits would have been closed off because, of course, in the finished version, but I never actually got to that. Anyways, just as a amusing idea that I came up with, yeah, I was planning on having combat in several places. I figured out that if you did it just right, you could make very, very narrow hallways using this building technique. And decided to make the player traverse one. See, because what it is that the wall in front of me is part of the building to my right. That wall is part of the other building on the other side. And if you interleave them with just the right gap, it makes a slalom course. And here's the object that you're here to find. I don't remember. I'm not sure I ever actually worked out what the MacGuffin was supposed to be. See, this is the sort of thing I was planning to do because ostensibly this is an underground facility built on Earth by the lizard people. So it's hidden from the prying eyes of humans, especially the humans in black. Alright, so next map. Okay, let's see here. Story, Adwaita ship. Oh, I actually had put in enemies on this one. One of the interesting things about the Star Trek Online costume editor is that you do actually have costume options that would work reasonably well for making a gray alien. I didn't actually do that first because of the fact that The Greys are actually like a minor antagonist, if you can call them an antagonist at all. So the lizard people were a higher priority. Also, if I'd ever actually finished the mission, I probably would have made costumes for more than one lizard person. And like a lot of my missions, the combat on this map is technically optional because of the fact that it's not actually part of one of your mission objectives. Why did I number these guys? Guys literally beamed in. You don't get this. Anyway, so the actual goal here. Oh, it's that bug. It's the 0 point bug. Oh. Things are warping around because stuff and I don't know what. Anyway, so most of this map I didn't actually do anything with. I just threw in the enemies for something to do. The actual thing is you go inside this room because you're actually here looking for the ship bridge / control center. And you find it. Not exactly what you would expect in a Federation ship, though, because, quite frankly, it's just a chair for a person to lay down in. Yes, I actually had to custom build this because these two side pieces are like the ends of benches, and the middle piece is a lounger. I have no idea how that functionality got added to that asset. It doesn't work. It looks screwball. But it's there. Wow. When did that get added to the Foundry? Okay. Oh boy. Anyways, so onward to the next map. Anyways, what you would have seen here when you got there is discussing the fact that the ship is actually one. It's a small ship by Federation standards, and that this area that you were looking around in isn't particularly spacious. I mean, you have a chair for one person, who is the person who controls the entire ship. Well, part of the thing with being a Kriegit is that Kriegits were expected to be able to basically take a ship and fly it by themselves. And the whole cybernetic thing means that whenever she lays down on the chair, she basically just kind of mind melds with this ship, and the ship does whatever she wills it to do as long as she's sitting in the chair. The backstory I came up with for this is a bit of a weird one. The idea here is that in that fictional universe that the Kriegit came from, her race were actually the ancestors of humans. Yeah, this is the SSS Azura interior with its baked-in strobe lights and green gas jets that I can't get rid of. Anyways, the objective here is you're exploring more of the ship because, well, since the ship has a telepathic control interface, you don't really have the ability to control the ship. You can copy information out of its computers, and that's about it. So the idea here is that you come down to their engineering area and find more computers to steal information out of. One of the interesting things about this map is that look at the glow effect that's baked in to the map. So because if you look at the ceiling, one of the two warp cores is glowing, the other one isn't. That's because the map didn't originally have two warp cores. It only had one, and I added the second one. And some other things, because I wanted to make the map, not look like a bog standard map. And also, the idea I had that I was working with was that the Kriegit ship ended up in our universe because of an accident involving an experimental drive system. Wow, I put together a whole bunch of these Tinker toys because if I remember right, only the central warp core was actually part of the stock map, and I added all of the other pieces that are attached to it. Well, anyways, that's it for this map. Next we have 37. Yeah, 37. I don't remember. Okay, so the idea here is that sometime like thousands of years ago, the Adwaita were the dominant race in the galaxy and fought a massive war for control of the galaxy with the other races that had been, well, they hadn't actually been doing an all-out war of conquest at this point, and it was when the Adwaita started doing an actual proper war of conquest that the other races united to fight back, which didn't go well for the Adwaita. Part of the reason why I say that humans are descended from the Adwaita is because of the fact that I used an idea I borrowed from Mutineer's Moon. Anyway, the idea is that, you have human race as descendants of this interstellar empire, and humans don't know this because of the fact that this interstellar empire is kind of sort of, dead. And none of the human ancestors that were surviving humans actually knew about them. I think you were supposed to spawn inside the catwalk instead of on top of it. Managed to make that work once, and it is actually kind of cool being able to walk around inside that. Anyway, the idea with this map is that I'd actually come to the conclusion that this stuff here, which is technically Fek'Liri floor paneling, was a reasonably good substitute for asphalt, and this was meant to be a imitation of what is in real life a modern day Earth city. Because again, the story here is that these people were on Earth in their universe and then left their universe and ended up in the Star Trek universe. Didn't really finish this map. Oh well. Well, and that's about as far as I got. So, see you guys next video.